Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about Euphoria Season 2, Episode 4. Now let's get to it. First, I just wanted to talk about Fez's small part in the episode because I was confused watching the scene. Do you guys know who Nelson's baby mama is? Whenever I heard that, I was like confused. I thought I missed something. I don't think I did, but if you guys know who that is or if this is a new character, please tell me down in the comment section because honestly, I was confused. But anyways, we're going to talk about the stars of the show. The 3 stars, in my opinion, were Rue, Cassie, and then Cal. We're going to talk about Cal first because it was juicy. Let's get down to it. In this episode, we see that Cal is driving under the influence. He's acting crazy. He's acting like his son. He goes to the bar where he kissed his best friend in the previous episode. There you see that he is really and truly stuck in his 17-year-old form. He has not grown a day ever since then because he's been stunted. Though I am feeling bad for him, I do think it's kind of fishy that he blames his family for that because that was the family that he created. Maybe not all the kids, but you laid down to make all of those kids. So this is your responsibility, and he just feels very much pigeonholed by his family, which isn't right. But I am feeling bad because he obviously has tons of emotional turmoil. You see that he is dreaming of his best friend. He's thinking about kissing him. He's thinking about dancing with him. And then he snaps into his 17 form again, and he wants to wrestle. And essentially the people just throw him out because you can't wrestle in the bar, you're doing too much. And we also find out that he has been to that place more than once ever since then, and he kind of always does the same thing. The drunk, the dancing, and wants to wrestle. That's his thing. But anyways, it's very apparent that he has had enough of the faking. He comes home, pees on the floor for some reason. For some reason that was the thing he chose to do. All that commotion ends up waking up everyone in the household, and he pretty much drops the ball. He tells them, oh, I've been sleeping with men. I have been having multiple affairs. I do what I want to when I want to. I'm asleep with men, women, transgender people. It does not matter. I'm doing it because I want to do it. Marsha is sitting over there stunned, even though I am sure in my brain she knew that man was queer. At the very least, she must have known. The oldest brother looked confused, like he was just woken up. He was like, what the heck? Nate's standing there like, I've known this since I was 9. I think he was like 9 or something like that. So he really wasn't conflicted or anything like that. So now everyone in the household knows about his double life. Cal even calls them out by saying that if he had cheated with a woman, there would be less of an issue. It'd be less of a shock. He calls them out on that, which is true. But Cal, you cannot come home, pee on the ground, drop that bombshell, and act like you shouldn't get some type of some type of shock, because you're really like you're peeing on the floor. You're doing a lot. But anyway, jaw dropped the entire time. It was hilarious to me. He tells his family that he has 0 regrets about his partners that he's had over the years, but he does regret being with Marsha. And honestly, I could see that line coming from a mile away because it's been very apparent that he feels like this relationship with Marsha, and more importantly, Marsha's pregnancy in high school, really trapped him. And I said in the last video, I think if it weren't for him getting Marsha pregnant, she would have gone out of his life. He would have found a way to get her out of his life. He would have found a way to graduate and go somewhere else. And he would have found a way to be queer out in the open. He might have not been, the most free, but he wouldn't have been sneaking around at least. But anyways, towards the end of the episode, Cal even says to his kids that they essentially trapped him in the corner. And again, like I said in the last episode, I feel like all this in his head is true. But what do y'all think? Do you guys think that Marsha knew? Because I think Marsha knew, but that's just me. Now I want to talk about Rue. So during the opening montage, you see that Rue is saying she loves Jules so much. She thinks of her as an angel. She thinks of her in a very, very special way. And I do have to say the opening montage was hilarious. At first, it was like beautiful. Like you get the Frida Kahlo shot, you get the Saint shot, and then it flipped. Then you get the Titanic shot, and then you get the Brokeback Mountain shot. Brokeback Mountain took me out. That took me out. I have never even seen the movie, but I knew exactly what that was from. And as soon as I saw that, I was laughing until the scene was over. I couldn't. Like, who let Sam Levinson do that? And then the wigs they had on. Okay, I'm done talking about that. But anyways, they click to present day, and you pretty much see that Jules has been working on Rue for better part of, what was it? Good 15 minutes, something like that. See, she's working on her. She's going down on her. But Rue is so high, she's not feeling any of the crap. So she fakes a finish. Jules can obviously tell this is fake. So she starts talking to Elliot. And Elliot like teaches her how to do it, kind of not. It was a weird scene. Didn't love it. But anyways. And then later we see that Jules and Elliot have been kissing, and they've been more than just friends. And they've even been doing it when Rue is around. Of course, Rue doesn't know, but say Rue goes to the restroom, they're kissing instantly. And I need them to stop that. Like, I just need to stop that. But anyways, later in the episode, you see that Rue gets up. She goes to, Snorri because that's what Rue does. She comes back. Elliot stands up. He goes to the restroom. He's supposed to do the same thing, but he ends up not taking the drugs. He comes back, and Jules has dared Rue to kiss him. So they kiss, and then they have this weird, like, threesome situation vibe. I don't love it. There's something about Elliot, though he is hot, I have to say that. There's something about Elliot that just rubs me the wrong way. It just rubbed me the wrong way. But anyways, you see that they later go steal alcohol, which was so random. I felt like I missed something. I was like, oh, this is what we're doing now. Anyway, they steal it. They get in a car, drinking, driving, whatever. And Rue's in the back seat, and she's drinking. This is where I got kind of annoyed with Elliot. He's like, oh, you can't drink while you're on that stuff. Again, you were the one who suggested stealing it, 1. 2, you knew that she snorted it. 3, you made it a point not to snort it because you knew what you wanted to do later. What was that? And then, of course, what Rue does, she self-isolates and she wants to be let out of the car. She's tired of the situation. She sneaks back in her room where she gets even more messed up. And she kind of has a in-between moment. There's a church scene moment where she's seeing her father and she's talking to him saying, she's such a disappointment, and he's reassuring her that she's not. And you see this very beautiful scene. I personally think the church scene was supposed to symbolize where she goes when she's that high. It's a place in between life and death. Because that's where she is. She's euphoric. She's above. She's behind. She's not on this earth, even though she physically is. And then there's a pan-out moment that you see that she's hugging her father, but of course no one is there. And honestly, that scene was just really, really, really sad. In this episode, it was Maddie's birthday. And we see a few things. I'm just going to go down a bullet list. Here we go. We see that Cassie has been calling out Nate and freaking out as she's been doing the last few episodes. And we see that she is starting to harbor a lot of resentment towards her and Nate. She almost can't keep it. She really can't keep it inside of herself for any longer. And then you see that Nate has been hanging with Maddie at her job, and Maddie tells him that she loves him. Then we also see a scene with Cassie fighting with Nate. And Nate is, at first, I thought Nate was absolutely destroying Cassie. I thought Cassie was just gonna break down. I thought she was just gonna be like, fine, and just get back in the bed. But no, she came back at him, and honestly, she's so unhinged. I think Nate has met his match. Because that girl could like easily ruin him, and he knows it. And I know he hates that he's gotten himself in a position where he's not the one in power, because we all know how Nate is when it comes to power. He acts a fool. So I know he's feeling it right now, because Cassie was unhinged. I was like, oh my gosh, did she just manipulate a manipulator into saying I love you when she was walking down the stairs, and that little smirk she had? She manipulated Nate. Oh my gosh. I was so through. But anyways, we get more scenes of Maddie's birthday party. And Cassie is sad. She's also hammered. She is dancing. She's staring at Nate. She's singing like loudly and aggressively. All I could think the entire episode was like, look, one of you needs to leave. And it's not going to be Cassie. So Nate, make your exit, because this girl is about to. She was fuming. She was not doing well at all. She needs therapy. She's not doing well. Oh yeah. On a side note, let's talk about Kat real quick. She is thinking about how much she doesn't like her boyfriend and the entire party. And I need Kat's storyline about this to just stop, because Sam's doing her dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's just, she's barely a character anymore. She's just kind of there. She's like, what's the other friend's name? She's like BB with like larger lines. Like she's not doing much for me right now. But anyway, let's go back to Cassie, because Cassie was a whole fool. She's in the dress for the night. She decides to go upstairs and get in her bathing suit. And when I saw her look at that bathing suit, I was like, no ma'am, no ma'am, no ma'am. Because you're trying to get his attention. You're trying to get his attention. And I was so over. I was like, don't do that. But she did it. She got on the bathing suit. She went downstairs. She's still drunk. She's skipping around in her outfit. She gets in the bathtub. And then in the bathtub, that's when Nate and Maddie start to argue, because Nate answered very quickly when someone asked, are you guys a couple? And he said no, instantly. It was so quick. And they start fighting and saying, and then it was hilarious. Maddie says, you're the same one that tells me I'm a goddess and you want me to have your babies, and now you're saying no that quickly. And Cassie's sitting over there fuming. She's squirming. She's like, oh my God. Nate was sitting there like a submissive. He didn't even want to get out. He didn't want to just sit there. He was uncomfortable because he was like, this girl over here is about to blow the whole thing, and then there's going to be a fight in the bathtub and she's going to choke one of us, and then Maddie's staring at him and there's a problem, and he was just uncomfortable. He wasn't in control, and we all know that's not his element. Cassie's so disheveled, she starts to throw up, and she's already drunk. So they all get out, and it was funny. She was like, I'm sorry, Maddie. And she's like, okay, shut up. You know what I mean? And I honestly think if her mom wasn't there to pull her out of the tub, she would have confessed to being with Nate. Because she was so very close. The way she was apologizing wasn't just a regular apologize. She was trying to apologize for what she did. But anyways, I hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. This video was kind of chaotic. It will be better next week. Hopefully I won't be as disheveled next week. But we'll see. Alright, thank you.